Alright, so we're getting ready to go racing today here in St. Petersburg. Of course, first lap under pace car conditions, under caution conditions, just to make sure that everything is indeed working. But rain falling at the first round of the ERL INDYCAR series. As we look to the Revolution Racing Man, currently starting in 17th of Hexel Mark, let's run through our starting order. Francis Austin is on pole from Lewis Olsen and Carson Thornburg. Then it's Nikian Gurevich, Ewa Puff, Queen Little Buns, and Niven Colby. Elliot Deli starts 9th from, keep forgetting how to pronounce their name, Miltsov's Micah in 10th position to round out the top 10. Then the other 12 drivers are as follows. Tommy, Max Bortkar, Ghosted, Linus Eriksson, David Kamino, Salas Kind, Hexel Mark, Saf Stan, Sebastian Messian, Enoch Hugh, Quan Todoroki, and TJ Davis. Those being the drivers who will start the first round in the ERL INDYCAR series. It's been quite a ways to even be able to record this race. But I'm just glad that we are going to be able to get some racing done in INDYCAR as they come through the end of the second sector. Watching on BDS Formula 1 Motorsports, you get the full race. If you're watching on Cable Sports, then you get the highlights package created by the man himself. I'm not too sure if he does his own commentary. I don't particularly watch other people's stuff that often. That's a lie. As they now head down the back stretch, we should be getting the message that the pace car will pull into the pits at the end of this lap and we can get back underway. Of course, the pace car not out every time we have a crash. It's usually just a full course yellow for the caution periods. So we're now into a hairpin. There you go, pace car is peeling into the pits at the end of this lap. So it's going to be Francis Austin leading us from Lewis Olsen and Carson Thornburg out of the top three. Two of these drivers are American, but only one of them has driven in the ERL prior. Rounding out the final turn, when is Austin gonna go? Here we go then, INDYCAR is underway in its first season here in St. Petersburg, and that's a very, very good jump off the line, I have to say, for Carson Thornburg, keeping his distance with the hyperdrive man of Lewis Olsen in front, but a better start from Francis Austin in the McLaren in the number 23 car, already out in front by over a second, 1.3 tenths of a second ahead, 1.3 seconds ahead rather, looking to Ewa Puff for Dragon Penske, following his teammate for that fourth position. The Penske drivers, they are certainly playing the team game here, not really trying to fight that hard for position, hoping that the three guys in front of them will all crash out. TJ Davis is actually quite a ways off the back of the pack. That could hinder the Newman Haas driver's day. Mikion has had a problem, I believe. No, that's Milsos Michael with a fight with a track limits warning, but yellow flag will wave there. Didn't see who it was for. Must have been just a slight touch with the barriers. No, it was Linus Eriksson. Linus Eriksson with front wing damage on the opening lap in the ERL INDYCAR Series race here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, as we look to Hexel Mark dropping to 20th position, but Thornburg, as he drops to 3rd, setting a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as they have caught up to the back of the McLaren man of Francis Austin, whose teammate has come into the pits at the end of lap 2. And Gurevich there on the back of Carson. You can see the clouds are still out there. It is certainly still raining for now, but it is also still certainly a bit sunny. It's a bit of both weather conditions that we've currently got. We will probably get some dry running soon, but here comes Thornburg. Goes down the inside at the hard braking point to try and take second. He's still alongside Olsen. Still alongside. Heading through the chicane, and he's in the wall. Carson Thornburg on debut, the man who set the best times during the preseason test with a 5-second time penalty, and Colby with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. He will serve that one in the pits. But for Thornburg, he's up into second now, but 7 seconds off the race lead, with that gap closing ever so more, and Lewis Olsen dropping down the order like a rock. He's gone from second to sixth now, behind Little Bonds. He went round the outside of that hairpin, didn't quite seem to work for him, and he's doing all he can to stay in the top 5. Into the pits comes everyone. So Colby now has to serve that time penalty at the same time as his pit stop happens. As Austin's pit stop completed, Thornburg's is completed. So in reality, all that Carson lost was time. He didn't really lose his out too much, apart from, of course, the obvious time deficit. As we're on board with Lil Buns, who's currently up in 4th. And for the Hyperdrive men, they are going to possibly drop outside of the top 10. They are certainly going to be in the lower half if they are still in it, but I don't think they will be. Olsen's come out of the pits in 13th. His teammate Quee will come out of the pits in 19th position. I was going to say 20th position, 21st position. No, it's just 19th. But Thornburg, 7 seconds off of Francis Austin. I don't think, for the American driver who hails from the same state that his name would imply, I don't think there's a better opportunity than this. Fastest second sector for Mikion Gurovic in 3rd position, closing in on Carson Thornburg in front of him. The Penske driver has gained a position in the pits and lost a position, so it's a net gain loss of nothing, because Puff dropped from 5th to 6th. Gurovic went from 4th to 3rd, or rather stayed in 3rd. Austin setting a fastest 3rd sector of anyone. 9 to go here in St. Petersburg. Nevin Colby for Sims Motorsport, doing a very good job for the team that in the ERL Formula E Series, which will get back underway very soon, has been known for taking some shock wins. As there goes Tommy up into 6th position, defending from the Scotsman right behind him. Hexel Mark, fastest 3rd sector of anyone, 26.599. And Tommy still on the back of Niven Colby in front now. He's going to get pushed to pass, of course. But how well is it going to work for him? You can see a lot more in front of you with the ERL 01 cars that we use in INDYCAR. Is this being an evolution of the Formula E car that saw 21 seasons of use. My goodness, we used the same car for 21 seasons in a row, and we are using it, albeit updated slightly, in the INDYCAR series. On board with Tommy, closing in on Niven Colby in front, as Austin setting a fastest lap, a 120.5. Down the inside goes Tommy to take 5th position away from Niven Colby. Gurovic setting a new fastest lap. Lil Bun setting a new fastest lap. And Colby getting his way up into 5th position again. Gurovic, I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to get past Thornburg in due course. The Power Motorsports driver of David Camino, as he's just set a fastest lap on the back of Elliot Daly right now. Elliot Daly, last seen in the ERL prior to this in London in season 21 of the Formula E series, due to the main guy at Renault, Daniel Bogdasarov. He had a fractured wrist. They fixed that up for season 22, of course, but he wasn't able to compete in the final round of season 21. Camino with push to pass active, closing in. He's gaining. He is gaining. Goes down the inside. He's going to be alongside him for a long while after this. Still side by side with Delhi heading into the chicane. Not really a good place to go side by side, and it's proved. Out goes Camino, and he's taken Max Bortcar with him. On board with Bortcar, and my goodness, that's carnage. This is the big one in St. Pete. Hexel Mark with a time penalty, a pile-up at half race distance, as there goes Ericsson as well. Hexel, Mark, and INDYCAR both got time penalties, but a full course yellow has been waived on board with Francis Austin. And for David Camino, his return to the ERL could have been and probably should have been a lot more graceful than that. Puff coming into the pits first of the guys in the top 10. This isn't for damage or anything like that. This is a scheduled stop onto the mediums. Considering how, I wouldn't say long he's been on those soft tyres. It's only been 4 laps, I believe, on the softs and he came in. Theoretically, those mediums should be able to do the rest of the race from here. The guys currently on the medium tyres will certainly need to come in again. Thornburg now on the back of Gurovic, who's gotten past the Chip Ganassi driver off camera. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see that pass due to the carnage that was happening further behind. Nevin Colby and Tommy, a tale as old as time right now, it seems, because of how close they are on track. Both of them in cars that could be considered blue. I mean, the Revolution car, black on the front, and out goes Olsen! Lewis Olsen out of this race! For the hyperdrive man from Norway, didn't catch the crash, but all we can assume is that it was similar to Camino's. In comes Gurovic, Thornburg, Lil Buns, and I believe Nevin Colby will also come into the pits as well. Full course yellow is ending as we now get back underway. And as Tommy comes into the pits, this is not a dream scenario for Path, as his teammate reemerges in second, comfortably so. Colby in fourth, nowhere near the back of Carson Thornburg, but this man, Francis Austin, has led from lap 1 to lap 8. Domination for the McLaren driver, who's faced no challenge all day so far. As he comes through the second sector's most finicky section, in comes Ghosted. Onto medium tyres he goes. Now, the thing for Austin is he's certainly going to hope for another full course yellow when he comes into the pits, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it, as we're looking with Thornburg man currently in third. Colby, Lil Buns, Elliot Deli, and Sebastian Messian, the top 7. And the Prema Power Team driver doing a very good job on debut to currently be in 7th. He's got Path in the Dragon Penske right behind, and a full course yellow. Salos Kynes out. Max Bortkar once again in the wall. And look at the state of Ericsson's tyres. Hexel Mark into the barriers as well. Running over front wing debris, and he's got front wing damage of his own. Austin coming out of the pits now. Gurovic on the back. He's the closest to him he's ever been. Colby and Deli come into the pits. And those are soft tyres going on to Niven's car as we now get back underway. And Mickey on Gurovic. Car number 35 as Messian comes into the pits. He's going to get pushed to pass. As also into the pits comes TJ Davis and Quan Todoroki and INDYCAR, who will serve that 5-second time penalty. But with push to pass, I feel like it's going to be a very easy move for Gurovic into the braking point. He's using the aerodynamic push to pass already with 5 to go, but he's not close enough to make the move. He's going to have to go again through the third sector, because no way he's going to try and make a move through here. As just proven, because moves down there, while possible, not too sure if YouTube's going to like me saying this word, but it's kind of a suicide mission, because you're going to end your race in the barriers if you do that. But with push to pass active, no move into that hairpin. Is he going for a turn 1 overtake? He's not. He's lost so much time. He's dropped multiple tenths of a second. In fact, he's dropped an entire second to Francis Austin ahead. In fact, more than a second as we go on to lap 10 of 14. Luck needed for Mikhail Gurovic, not just to try and get past Francis Austin ahead, but to defend from Carson Thornburg right behind. We're on board with the number 97. The other American driver in the top 3, top 5 even, if I can extend it that far, Next American that you'll find is Elliot Daly with the fastest third sector of anyone. Firebird was the first American in the ERL as a whole as Saf San comes into the pits. I bet no one watching this remembers Firebird and his exploits as here comes Thornburg going down the inside, not quite able to move himself up into second position. He tried to make the move, just didn't seem as if he was ready to do it. Thornburg still on the back of Mikion Gurovic, fighting over second position. He's going to get pushed to pass for sure, as Sebastian Messian on the back of Milcios Micah. More push to pass for Thornburg, who into the hairpin does the move that I feel like Gurovic probably should have made. That's going to be second for the American to USA 1-2 in St. Petersburg currently. And defending the normal racing line there was Thornburg. And look at that, blistering on the softs with 3 to go. Will another pit stop be needed? Will this race become a 3-stopper? Or will they all manage to make their way to the end with the tyres that they've got? I think that is Quanto Doroki on his own for the Andretti team, with Elliot Daly setting a new fastest lap of 1:19.033 in 6th position ahead of Yua Path, whose medium tyres certainly have seen better days. For McLaren right now, this is a dream opening race weekend. A lights to flag victory with a pole position as well. All they need is the fastest lap, and they will be on for the Grand Slam, which is something I cannot name a single ERL driver doing. I don't know if an ERL driver's led every lap before, let alone taking the fastest lap with it. Looking with Lil Buns currently in 4th position, as Buns, is that Buns? No, it was Thornburg and Gurovic fighting over position, and the timing tower is classifying Gurovic as ahead. It was for a second there. Thornburg pits, Carson Thornburg into the pits on lap 12 of 14. Gurovic behind him also in. Lil Buns is staying out, so the Chip Ganassi and Penske drivers have both come into the pits, and they've basically decided, you know what, our tyres, we're not confident on whether or not we will make it to the end with them. We will pit and just ensure that there will be no issues. Yua Path currently in 7th might want to take that advice as well. Look at the state of his mediums. He will make it to the end of this race, however. Francis Austin and his soft tyres, however, I'm not so confident about. 57% tyre wear. He's going to make it to the end theoretically, but this part of the track needs so much grip. You saw how much he was trying to correct that car. It's only going to get worse from here if you haven't made a 3rd stop yet. Looking with Lil Buns. Is that car number 55? That is the 55 for Lil Buns. Salas Kynes also in the 55, so of course an error on my end, and I will take accountability for that, and we will fix that up. We will give Lil Buns the 5 next time out, as that's Thornburg into P3. Niven Colby drops down to 4th position, as onto the penultimate lap in Long Beach, California. Not even Long Beach, we are in St. Petersburg, I swear down into God. I can't believe it, I make mistakes all the time. But onto the penultimate lap we go. Ghosted is out of this race. On board with Ericsson. There is, oh my goodness, that's Saf San also involved. Saf San involved in the incident as well. Has he got front wing damage? If he does, he'll need to pit, but he does not, so he will not need to pit. And for this Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, that will see us after this head to Long Beach in the ERL INDYCAR series. Well, Carnage certainly is the soup of the day. Looking back with Francis Austin, there is no one behind him for 10 whole seconds. On board with the McLaren driver as he comes through the chicane. Very, very slick corner exit. He seemingly wouldn't have enough grip to make it to the end, but I don't know what is in that American man's systems. It's just working. As you can see, Niven Colby also struggling with his tyres. He's got Mikion Gurovic for company. And that's Austin making his way through the final few turns. Here comes Gurovic with both types of push to pass. Yellow's in the second sector. That is for you a path. Out of the race has gone Sebastian Messian. Seb Messi out of this race. Into the wall goes Milsos Micah. Lucky to miss the Andretti man. Quanto Doroki also into the barriers on the final lap. Puff being hit by Milsos as well. Quee also out of this race. 2 drivers going out, one of them during the full course yellow. That's Austin making his way round the lap at not even full racing speed. And he's probably hearing about the incidents over his team radio. Missing the barriers was Hexel Mark and Saf San. 16 runners, full course yellow is ending. Austin on 31% tyre wear. It's a prestigious thing to win the first race of a series like Formula E, but with a new series like INDYCAR to the ERL, it's probably going to be even more prestigious to win the first ever Grand Prix of St. Pete's. Heading through the chicane, that's the wall! Out goes Austin! Full course yellow! Little Buns is leading! He had been leading every single lap! Buns in the barriers! Thornburg's gonna do it! He's not! It's Gurovic! I don't believe it! Little Buns has just taken Gurovic to the top step of the podium! Thornburg was shoved out of the way and shoved down to 3rd! Elliot Deli in the barriers as well! We get back racing! On the final lap, Tommy into the wall and out of this race, and that's gonna end it. That will end it for sure. We will end the first ever ERL IndyCar Series race under full course yellow with 2 drivers spinning out and Mikhail Gurovic rounding the final turn to take victory in St. Petersburg from Niven Colby and Carson Thornburg. If I told you that I was expecting this race to be a bit of a snooze fest, I would not be lying. And in fact, it was a dead heat for the race win, apparently. Look at how many drivers are spinning. That is the closest finish in ERL history, according to the timing screens. But of course, sensors down there not always so accurate, so I'm not too sure about that. You will see in the comments after I take a look at the mini-map whether or not it's true or not. Bit of an issue there with Safsan. He's missing part of his front wing. But wow, what a race. What an event here in St. Pete. Mikhail Gurovic will take the honors of being the first ever ERL IndyCar Series race winner. And you can see with Ericsson and Mark, similar issue, so I'm not too sure it was a dead heat for the race win. But this is the podium. Niven Colby! Niven Colby's taken it! I don't believe it from my own eyes! But Niven Colby has been awarded with the race win in St. Petersburg from Mikhail Gurovic and Lil Buns. What a podium we've got in terms of nationalities. We've got a Malaysian driver, a Russian driver racing under a neutral flag, and a Ukrainian. But as for the rest of the order, it's as follows. Carson Thornburg from teammate Elliot Deli and TJ Davis. Then it's Quanto Doroki, Milsos Micah, Puff, and Enoch Q, with the non-scorers being Hexel Mark, Max Bortkar, Linus Eriksson, Saf San. And the non-finishers being Tommy, Francis Austin, who had led every lap before the last one. Oakwe, Sebastian Messian, Ghosted, Salos Kynes, Lewis Olsen, and David Camno. The driver standings looks basically the same as the finishing order. So in the constructors standings, heading into the next race of the season, Sims Motorsport leads from Chip Ganassi, tied with Newman Haas Racing. Then it's Dragon Penske, Andretti, and Power Motorsport with McLaren, Pramet Power Team, Apex Pinnacle, Revolution Racing, and Hyperdrive Racing yet to score any points. We will see you guys next time then when the ERL IndyCar Series returns.